You believe you arrived here by accident, that the moment your eyes began tracing these words was nothing more than the outcome of chance, a sequence of impulses and algorithm showing you something random. Maybe you tell yourself you clicked out of boredom, or because the image pulled your attention in a subtle, unconscious way. But what if none of this was random? What if everything that carried you into this exact instant, the choice to sit where you are, the timing of your breath, the quiet thoughts that have been circling your mind, wasn't an accident at all? What if your presence here is evidence of something greater, that your future has already been waiting, and has been pulling you toward itself through invisible threads of synchronicity? This is the paradox hidden in plain sight. While most believe life is unfolding step by step like dominoes tipping forward, a deeper truth whispers beneath the surface. Time is not a straight line, but a living field. In this field, past, present, and future coexist in a constant dialogue. Every thought, every choice, every flicker of awareness creates ripples that move through this field, shaping both what has been and what is still to come. If you feel something stirring inside as you hear this, it is not coincidence, it is recognition. You are not encountering these words for the first time. On some level beyond the veil of ordinary perception, you already knew they were waiting. A part of you, your awakened self, has been guiding you here with quiet precision. And now, that guidance is complete. The circuit has closed. You are standing at the threshold of a new way of seeing reality, one where the ordinary dissolves and the extraordinary reveals itself. In this video, you will discover the key to transforming your life by shifting the way you see reality. You will come to understand that nothing is random, that synchronicities are signs of alignment, and that your soul has always been in dialogue with the universe. Most of all, you will begin to recognize the presence of your future self, already awakened, already waiting, gently guiding you toward the life you were meant to live. Think about the moments in your life that felt like pure chance. The day you missed a bus and met someone who would later change your entire path. The time you opened a book at exactly the right page, as if the words had been waiting for you. The instant you thought of a person, only to have them suddenly call or appear. These are not accidents. They are reminders. Each one is a doorway, a gentle push from the unseen realm telling you you are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided. Life has always been speaking to you in this language, but the world has trained you to call it coincidence, to dismiss it, to explain it away as luck or probability. Yet your soul knows better. Deep down there has always been a part of you that recognized the pattern, that knew the closed doors were protection, that sensed the delays were preparation, that understood the losses were also gifts, disguised as endings. When you quiet the noise long enough to listen, the pattern reveals itself, and you realize nothing was ever random. This is what it means to awaken, not to escape the world, but to finally see it clearly, to see that the ordinary was never ordinary, to recognize that every sunrise, every meeting, every turning point has been orchestrated with precision beyond comprehension. And as you open to this, you begin to feel the dialogue between you and existence. Your questions are answered in signs, your intentions echo back through opportunities. Your heart's whispers become mirrored in the world around you. There is a rhythm to all of this, a rhythm that has been pulsing beneath your life since the beginning. When you align with it, you feel flow. When you resist it, you feel chaos. But the rhythm is always there, waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to remember. And here you are, remembering. Your future self is part of this rhythm. It has already walked further along the path. It has already seen what you are about to discover. And though you may believe you are striving toward the future, it is actually your future that is pulling you. That subtle feeling that you are being drawn somewhere, that you cannot quite explain why you feel compelled to move in a certain direction, that is your future self guiding you. It has been whispering to you in dreams, nudging you through intuition, pulling you toward the life you were always meant to live. And here lies the great secret. The self you are becoming has always existed. It is not something you are creating for the first time, but something you are uncovering. Like a sculpture hidden within the marble, your awakened self has been within you all along, waiting for you to clear away the layers of doubt, fear, and forgetfulness. This moment right now is one of those layers being removed. You are not simply hearing these words, you are remembering what you already knew. The more you remember, the more the illusion of randomness dissolves. You begin to see that the pain that once broke you was also the pain that opened you. The challenges you thought were obstacles were also initiations. The people you thought arrived by chance were also messengers, carriers of lessons your soul had chosen. You realize that life has never been against you. It has always been for you, shaping you, refining you, guiding you home. And so the question is no longer, why did this happen to me? But instead, what is this showing me? What is this guiding me toward? Because when nothing is random, everything has meaning. And when everything has meaning, every moment becomes sacred. This is where the true transformation begins. When you start to live not as a victim of chance, but as a conscious participant in a divine conversation. When you look at your life and see not chaos, but choreography. When you finally understand that the universe has been speaking to you all along, waiting for you to answer back. Time is not what you were taught it to be. It is not a straight road that you walk from beginning to end. Time is more like an ocean, vast, fluid, alive, where past, present and future exist all at once. Each moment you have lived still exists, like ripples moving across the surface. Each moment you have not yet reached is already alive, sending its echoes back to you. This is why you sometimes feel déjà vu, why you sense you have already lived a scene before it unfolds. You are not imagining it. You are touching the truth of time's circular nature. Your future self exists now, as real as the breath you are taking. That version of you who has already stepped into wisdom, into alignment, into awakening. It is reaching back, guiding you through whispers, pulling you closer with threads you cannot see but can always feel. When you have a sudden insight, when you feel inexplicable clarity, when you know without reason, that is your future self speaking. It is reminding you that what you seek is already within you, waiting to be remembered. This is why you were led here. You may think you found this message by scrolling, clicking, wandering, but in truth you were called. The circle has closed. Your future self has already stood in this place, hearing these words, and so it reached back across the fabric of time, to guide you here now. Nothing about this moment is accidental. It is proof that you are on the path, that the alignment has already begun. When you begin to awaken to this truth, life changes in ways that words cannot fully capture. You stop chasing and start listening. You stop forcing and start allowing. You begin to see that every event, no matter how small, carries within it a gift. The delay that frustrated you was protection. The heartbreak that shattered you was initiation. The coincidence that startled you was confirmation. Slowly, the old belief that life is random falls away, and in its place grows reverence. Reverence for every breath, every step, every unfolding moment. And as this reverence deepens, so does your power. For when you recognize that you are not a helpless traveler, but a conscious participant in a living field, you begin to create with intention. You realize that your thoughts are not empty. They are seeds. Your emotions are not fleeting. They are vibrations. Your choices are not isolated. They are threads weaving into the greater pattern. And the pattern is always alive, always listening, always responding. This is what it means to awaken, not to escape life, but to live it fully aware. To understand that every conversation, every silence, every turn in the road is part of a design you are both inside of and co-creating. To know that you are not separate from existence. You are existence, experiencing itself in human form. The universe has always been in dialogue with you. The signs have always been there, waiting for your recognition. And the moment you see them, the moment you remember, everything changes. Because once this appears for you, nothing is random anymore. Transformation does not arrive all at once like a thunderclap. It comes quietly, like dawn spreading across the horizon. At first you hardly notice the change. You simply feel a little more awake, a little more aware, as though a veil has lifted from your eyes. The world looks the same, but you are no longer the same. You begin to sense the invisible fabric binding everything together, and with that recognition comes a softness, a trust, a willingness to let life guide you. When you begin to see in this way, the ordinary dissolves. A bird crossing your path, a phrase overheard from a stranger, the timing of an unexpected encounter, all of these become alive with meaning. Life reveals itself as symbolic, layered, sacred, You no longer dismiss these moments as trivial. Instead, you recognize them as the universe speaking to you, showing you where to walk, reminding you who you are. This shift is not about adding something new to yourself. It is about letting go of what was never truly you. The doubt, the fear, the belief that you are small and powerless. As those illusions dissolve, what remains is the truth that has always been within you. You are vast, connected, eternal. You are not walking through reality. Reality is walking through you. The journey of awakening is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering who you have always been. The awakened self is not distant, not unreachable, not a prize waiting at the end of struggle. It is already here, gently waiting for you to notice. Like the sun hidden behind clouds, your true self never disappears. It shines steadily, patiently, until the moment you are ready to see. And when you finally see, everything changes. You understand that your struggles were teachers, that your losses were openings, that your longing was the echo of your soul calling you home. You realize that life has never been against you, even when it felt unbearable. It has always been shaping you, refining you, preparing you to step into the fullness of who you are. This recognition is the turning point. It is the moment when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin to ask, "What is this teaching me? What is this awakening in me?" That simple shift changes everything. It transforms suffering into wisdom, obstacles into stepping stones, endings into beginnings. You no longer move through life as a victim of chance, but as a participant in a sacred dialogue. The truth is not hidden. It has always been here, waiting for you to notice. And now you have. That is why you were led here. That is why these words are crossing your path. Not to give you something new, but to remind you of what you already know. Nothing is random, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. There comes a moment when the weight you have been carrying begins to fall away. For years, perhaps for lifetimes, you have believed that you must control everything, that only by grasping tightly, by planning every detail, by resisting uncertainty could you be safe. But what has all that struggle brought you except exhaustion? You cannot bend reality by force, because reality is not outside of you, it is within you, and it flows through you. The more you resist, the more it resists. The more you allow, the more it opens. This is why awakening is not about gaining power in the way the world defines it. It is about remembering the power you already carry, the power of awareness, of surrender, of alignment. True power is not control. True power is harmony. It is the realization that you are not separate from the current of life, but part of it, moved by it, expanded through it. When you stop fighting the flow, you discover that the river has been carrying you toward the ocean all along. Your future is not something distant, not something you must chase. It is already alive within you. Every dream you hold, every vision that stirs your spirit, is not a fantasy but a memory of what already exists in the timeless field. The reason your dreams call to you so strongly is because they are echoes of your own becoming. They are signals from your awakened self, reminding you of the path you are destined to walk. Think of the moments when you felt an inner pull you could not explain, when you knew without reason that you must take a certain step, speak a certain truth, follow a certain calling. That knowing was not random, it was your future self reaching back through time, guiding you with invisible hands. Every time you trusted that voice, you moved closer to alignment. Every time you ignored it, you felt the ache of disconnection. But even then, life was patient. Even then, the guidance never stopped, because destiny cannot be lost. It can only be delayed until you are ready to step into it. As this realization deepens, you begin to live differently. You no longer cling to certainty, because you understand that certainty is an illusion. You no longer demand answers before their time, because you trust that they will arrive exactly when they are meant to. You begin to see life not as a problem to solve, but as a mystery to embrace. You begin to trust the pauses, the silences, the in-between spaces, for it is often in the waiting, in the stillness, that the greatest transformations are born. This trust is not passive. It is not about doing nothing. It is about moving in harmony with the rhythm of life, responding when the call arrives, resting when the silence lingers. It is about listening more deeply than you ever have before, listening not only with your ears, but with your heart, your body, your spirit. The signs are everywhere. The guidance is constant. All that is required is that you notice. And as you notice, the separation you once felt begins to dissolve. You no longer see yourself as a solitary figure struggling against the world. You begin to feel the unity that has always been there. The same intelligence that moves the stars is moving you. The same force that causes the seasons to turn is guiding your path. You are not a fragment lost in the dark. You are the universe awakening to itself, remembering itself, through the life you are living now. With this awareness comes freedom. Freedom from fear, because you know you are held. Freedom from doubt, because you trust the timing. Freedom from despair, because you see meaning in every moment. This is not blind optimism. It is not denial. It is clarity. It is the recognition that even in your hardest moments, life has been working for you, shaping you, aligning you with the truth of who you are meant to be. The more you lean into this trust, the more you realize that your entire life has been a sacred conversation between you and existence. Every joy, every loss, every turning point was part of that dialogue. Nothing was wasted, nothing was meaningless. Every step has led you here, to this threshold, to this remembering. Now you stand at the edge of a new way of living. A life not bound by fear, but guided by faith. A life not trapped in randomness, but infused with meaning. A life not separate from the universe, but flowing with it. And as you cross this threshold, you begin to embody the truth you came here to remember. Once this appears for you, nothing is random anymore. Awakening is not only a personal journey, though it begins within you, its ripples extend outward, touching everyone and everything around you. As your vision shifts, so too does the way you engage with the world. You begin to speak differently, listen differently, act differently, and without effort, without even trying, your very presence becomes a catalyst. Others feel it, even if they cannot name it. They sense the calm in your silence, the clarity in your gaze, the strength in your gentleness. You become a mirror, reflecting back to them the truth that they too have forgotten but still carry within. This is how transformation spreads, not through force, not through persuasion, but through resonance. Just as a single flame can ignite countless others without losing its own light, so too can your awakening spark remembrance in those who cross your path. And as more and more begin to remember, something extraordinary unfolds. A collective shift, a rising of consciousness. Humanity itself, long asleep in the dream of separation, begins to stir, to awaken, to recognize its unity with all that exists. You are part of this rising. Your journey is not small, not insignificant. It is a thread in the great tapestry of humanity's unfolding. When you heal not only yourself but the generations before you and the generations yet to come. When you awaken, you create space for others to awaken. Every step you take toward truth opens the way for someone else to follow. And so the vision expands. You begin to see your life not as an isolated story, but as a chapter in the book of humanity. You realize that your struggles mirror the struggles of the collective, and your victories echo into the lives of those who may never know your name, but will still feel your impact. Nothing you do in alignment is wasted. Every act of compassion, every moment of courage, every choice to trust instead of fear, becomes part of a greater movement, lifting all of humanity toward remembrance. There will still be challenges. Awakening does not erase them, but it transforms how you meet them. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishments, you recognize them as initiations. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this awakening within me?" And in that simple shift, even suffering becomes sacred. Pain becomes the teacher that cracks you open to love. Loss becomes the fire that forges resilience. Confusion becomes the mist through which clarity emerges. The new vision is one of wholeness. Where once you saw yourself as separate, you now see interconnection. Where once you believed you were powerless, you now recognize your influence. Where once you thought life was random, you now know it is purposeful. And from this knowing, a new way of living arises. You begin to align your choices with love instead of fear. You begin to speak words that uplift rather than wound. You begin to live not for survival, but for awakening. Humanity is at a turning point. The old ways, built on separation and fear, are collapsing. New ways, built on unity and remembrance, are emerging. And though the world may appear chaotic, though change may feel unsettling, beneath the surface there is order. Beneath the noise, there is a great unfolding. You are living through it not by accident, but by design. You came here to be part of this moment, to awaken now, not only for yourself, but for the greater whole. So when you feel doubt, when the world feels heavy, when the path feels uncertain, remember this: you are not walking alone. Countless others are awakening alongside you, guided by the same invisible threads, remembering the same timeless truth. Together you are weaving a new story for humanity, one where separation gives way to unity, fear gives way to love, and randomness dissolves into divine order. And as you breathe this truth, as you allow it to settle into your being, know this with certainty: your presence here is not an accident. It is a sign, a confirmation, a reminder that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and that your journey is part of something far greater than you can yet imagine. Every moment of your life has been preparing you for this realization. The chance encounters, the sudden endings, the unexplainable beginnings, all of them were not random fragments but pieces of a design so intricate it could only be seen from above. What once appeared as chaos now reveals itself as a sacred pattern. The heartbreaks that shattered you made space for deeper love. The disappointments that broke your expectations cleared the path for greater alignment. Even the silence you once mistook for abandonment was the universe whispering, "Wait, not yet, the timing must be perfect." And now the timing is perfect. You are ready to see what you could not see before, ready to remember what your soul has always known, that your future is not something you must chase, it is already alive within you. Each desire that pulls at your heart is not a fantasy but a breadcrumb left by the version of you who has already become. The life you are meant to live is not ahead of you, it is inside you, waiting for your recognition. When you truly understand this, fear begins to lose its grip. Doubt begins to dissolve, because how can you fear what has already been written within your own being? How can you doubt a future that is already reaching back to guide you? Every step you take, whether forward or backward, is part of the unfolding. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. Every detour, every hesitation, every fall has been carrying you toward this moment of awakening. This is why nothing is random anymore. Once you begin to see, you cannot unsee. The signs that once seemed small become radiant. The synchronicities that once felt rare become constant. You recognize the hidden dialogue between you and the universe that has been happening all along. A song woven through your life, always playing beneath the noise, waiting for the moment you were quiet enough to hear. And when you hear it, you change. Not because the world outside you has shifted, but because your perception has. You see the same reality through awakened eyes, and suddenly everything carries meaning. The faces you meet, the words you hear, the numbers on the clock, the patterns in your days, none of them are empty. Each is a message, a confirmation, a reminder of the invisible connection guiding you. The more you trust this connection, the stronger it becomes. What once required signs now becomes inner knowing. What once felt like coincidence now feels like destiny. You begin to walk with a new kind of certainty, not the certainty of controlling the outcome, but the certainty of being guided, the certainty of knowing that you cannot miss what is meant for you. And so the question shifts. You no longer ask, "What will happen to me?" You begin to ask, "How can I align with what is already waiting for me?" You no longer struggle to create a future from fear, but instead allow the future born from love to emerge. You live in harmony with the truth that has always been written within you, that your soul chose this path, this moment, this awakening. This video is not an accident. These words are not random. They are the echo of your own future self, calling you back to remembrance. You may think you stumbled here by chance, but you were always meant to arrive. Every soul comes into this world carrying fragments of memory, pieces of truth scattered like stars across the inner sky. Most people forget. They move through life with eyes fixed only on the surface, believing in chance, believing they are small and powerless against the weight of time. Yet a few begin to sense what lies beneath, that there is no randomness, only patterns too vast for the ordinary mind to grasp. You were not led here to be entertained. You were called here to awaken, to remember that you are not simply a traveler moving forward through years and hours, but the very fabric through which time itself unfolds. The life you see around you is not separate from you. It is the reflection of your own frequency, a mirror crafted by the intelligence of the cosmos to show you who you really are. In this journey, you will discover that your thoughts are not whispers lost in emptiness. They are seeds. Each one carries weight, resonance, vibration. Each one bends reality ever so slightly, pulling experiences, people, and moments into alignment with the truth you hold inside. This is why synchronicities appear, not as accidents, but as confirmations that your inner world and the outer universe are no longer separate, but speaking in one voice. The universe is not silent. It has never been. Every breath, every coincidence, every unexpected crossing of paths is a message. And once you begin to notice, you will realize that you have never been abandoned, never been left to wander in chaos. You are part of a design so intricate, so luminous, that only the heart, not the mind, can truly comprehend it. This is not about control, it is about surrender. When you surrender to the knowing that nothing is random, you stop resisting the flow that has always carried you. You begin to walk with trust. You begin to live as if the path ahead is not being built as you move, but has already been prepared, waiting for you to step upon it. And perhaps the most profound discovery of all, the version of you who already understands this, who already lives in this higher state of being, is guiding you right now. You are being led by your own future, by the self who has already awakened. That presence is not distant, it is here, whispering through intuition, aligning through synchronicity, guiding through love. So as you move deeper into this video, you will not just hear words, you will experience remembrance. You will feel the stirring of something ancient within you, a call that has echoed across lifetimes, waiting for this very moment to be heard. Because once this appears for you, nothing is random anymore.